They are so far a perfect 4-0 against the Pirates. They would certainly love to change all that today, but the challenge is stiff. Jake Arrieta, the hottest pitcher in all of baseball, will try to stand between the Pirates and a victory today. We'll get you set for first pitch and plenty more straight ahead right here on Root Sports.
Time for some Saturday afternoon baseball from Chicago. Today, it's the middle game of the three-game series between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the red-hot Chicago Cubs. The Cubbies beat the Pirates 9-4 yesterday afternoon, so the Pirates look to even the series. Greg Brown, John Wayner, Robbie Ince-Mikowski with you. John, it won't be easy, though, because the Cubbies did to the Pirates yesterday what they did to them a couple of weeks ago at PNC Park and what they have been doing to seemingly every opponent all year long, and beat them badly. That's what the Cubs are doing to the opposition.
It's been an impressive run for these Chicago Cubs. They're doing it with everything. Their offense has been unbelievable, as you can see right here in the 4 wins over the Pirates. They've outscored the Pirates by 20 runs. They've out-hit them by almost 80 points, out-homered, they've out-pitched, they've out-defensed. They've done just about everything, not just to the Pirates, though, as you mentioned. It's been to the entire Major League Baseball, every team in the league.
An astounding run differential of 104 for the Chicago Cubs against the opposition. Truly incredible. And when you talk incredible, you talk with the guy on the mound today for Chicago. He is out of this world, Jake Arrieta, 6-0, a 1.13 ERA.
I've never seen anything like this, what he's been able to do, and he's overpowering with the fastball. He throws across his body. He has an unhittable curveball. He has a slider that's about unhittable, an occasional changeup. This guy has been remarkable. You're talking last 19 starts, he's only allowed 10 earned runs. His last 27 starts, he's only allowed 20 earned runs. You can see there, 3 runs or less, 27 straight starts. They've won 24 of the last 25 starts. Of course, the only game they didn't win was a no-hitter by Cole Hamels. This guy has been unbelievable.
Look at that streak. 3 runs or less last 27 starts. Longest streak in the major leagues. That's not 1993. That's 1893. Truly incredible what Arrieta has done. And he gets a battery mate back this afternoon. Miguel Montero has been on the disabled list. Our Allegheny Health Network injury update. He returns today, and he is in the starting lineup.
Yeah, you look at Montero being out. David Ross is back up, 39 years old. He has been phenomenal as well. 3 hits yesterday, a home run, but they're obviously happy to get Montero back.
All right, but it sounds like we're gushing about the Cubs. We apologize. We'll change courses. We'll gush about the Pirates center fielder coming up. He's got a 7-game hitting streak. He's rolling in the month of May. Of course, we're talking about Andrew McCutchen. More from Wrigley Field in Chicago coming up.
Thanks for coming. Baseball on Roots Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, Health for All, and by Day Automotive. We're gonna make your day. Let's go Bucks!
And back here at Wrigley Field in Chicago, where the Buccos get ready to take on Jake Arrieta and the Chicago Cubs. Middle game of this 3-game series. Greg Brown, John Wehner back with you as we await the first pitch. A chance, as we mentioned, to talk a little bit about Andrew McCutchen, who now has a 7-game hitting streak. This is about the time of year where Kutch starts to heat up, and John, that's what he's done. He's hitting .400 on this road trip.
Yeah, I think when this road trip began, he was down in like the 2 teens, and all of a sudden the average up to 261. Thanks to yesterday, first pitch swinging at a fastball, first time up, hit the base hit through the left side. This pitch tells me he's getting locked in. It was an off-speed pitch down and away that he was able to drive in the gap for a double, and then the home run. Maybe a little bit of help from the friendly confines here at Wrigley Field, but he got a fastball up in his zone, put another home run into the seats in the bleachers in left field.
So that means back-to-back games in which he has homered, 8 home runs on the season, and you see the numbers for his 7-game hitting streak, now batting .400 during this stretch and helping lead the Pirates offense. Middle game of this 3-game series. And another guy who is maybe getting back on track is Gregory Polanco. 2 for 3 on base 4 times yesterday. He walked a couple of times. Just 5 hits in 23 at-bats on this road trip, but maybe he's starting to get back at it.
He got off to such a hot start, and then he did cool off. The swing got a little bit long, but for only a handful of games or so, and I thought both of these doubles were fastballs in. That last series, he was hooking those fastballs foul. Now he's keeping his hands inside. He hit one off the wall straightaway right, the other one to right center field. It's a good sign when he's really pulling those hands and hitting those line drives into the gaps.
So a couple of strong offenses here. The Pirates still lead the National League in hitting. The Chicago Cubs had the top on-base percentage team, but you see where they rank offensively. So our barrel league leaders, the Cubs and the Pirates, pretty strong offensively.
Very much so. A little surprising that they are so close. You look at the Pirates up on the Cubs in average, on base pretty close, doubles the same. Runs per game, the Cubs a full run better than the Pirates, but OPS fairly similar. The Pirates with a little bit of an edge stolen base-wise. Even home runs. We talk about the Cubs and how big of a home run hitting team they are. They only have 5 more homers than the Bucks.
Yeah, they're 6th in the National League in terms of home runs. The Pirates are 9th, but they did flex their muscles yesterday. 3 big swings. Addison Russell, of course, got them out in front 3-0. Chris Bryant then the 2-run shot for the reigning Rookie of the Year, and then the veteran David Ross. Those 3 swings put the game away.
Yeah, not moonshots by any stretch. I mean, there was a little bit of a breeze blowing out, but still a couple of mistake pitches. The hanging slider to Russell, I thought the big one from Lariano, but yeah, Bryant, he has the ability to hit some pitches. That pitch was off the plate. He has the ability to hit that out of the park, and David Ross, anytime he gets a home run, I think is a bit of a surprise.
Chris Bryant signing some autographs. And John, yeah, it seems like such a daunting task when we just moments ago talked about Jake Arrieta. So it is important when the Pirates, and we'll get to our tips to win at the beginning of the ball game, but he has been beaten. I mean, and eventually he's going to lose this season. The Pirates, if you look at his record, have beaten him in the past, but the offense has to do what it can whenever it can and keep Jeff Locke and the Pirates in this ball game.
I believe when you get an opportunity to score off Arrieta, and in fact, last time he pitched against the Pirates, he walked the first 2 batters of the game. You got to find a way to take advantage, even if it's just a bunt and a sac fly, or you don't even have to have a hit to score a run in those situations. So if the Pirates do get those opportunities, whether it be a walk and an error or maybe a blue pit or whatever, you get a couple of runners on with nobody out, you have to cash in. His Arrieta is not going to give up much. He doesn't give up many long balls. You know, he has pretty decent control, but can get wild at times. He will make mistakes. I think that the Pirates have to kind of just, you know, keep the approach simple, stay short and quick, and take advantage of whatever mistakes he may make.
You see, they have beaten him, but not going to be easy, that's for sure, as Jake Arrieta and the Chicago Cubs get ready to take on Jeff Locke and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Folks being asked to stand for the national anthem. John Vincent, who is a local celebrity here in Chicago, a Frank Sinatra sound-alike, is going to have our national anthem here at Wrigley Field. As you see, it's a cool day. It was drizzling for much of the early afternoon. But right now, our national anthem with John Vincent here at Wrigley Field in Chicago.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free? And the home of the brave.
Sure, we could have stacked these tires.
Not too far away from first pitch. Pirates Cubs. John Jaso, Josh Harrison, and Jeff Locke preparing for this start. The lefty getting ready to take on the Chicago Cubs for the first time this season. He's been better of late.
Yeah, he has been pitching better. I think the command has been key for him. He's always been strong on the inside pitch to the righties, but he's been a lot better, I think, throwing to both sides of the plate, mixing in the changeup, the two-seamer to go along with that four-seamer. He likes to bust in the right-handers. For Jeff Locke, when he's getting ahead throwing strikes, he's always going to be better.
Check out what he did his last time out. That was Saturday on this road trip against the Cardinals. Gave the Pirates a chance. The 6 innings, 3 runs on just 4 hits. That coming off his 7-inning performance against the Reds, and that followed his 6 innings of shutout ball in Denver against the Colorado Rockies. You can see it's his career 9 starts against the Cubs, 1 and 2. Let's get to John's Rivers Casino tips to win.
No, I think it's a tremendous amount of pressure, first of all, to go up against a guy like Arrieta, and you wonder what goes through a pitcher's mind. Jeff Locke has to be on his top of his game today. He has to be locked in to give this team a chance, because you know you're not going to score many runs against Jake Arrieta. On defense, they have to be stingy. They have to make the plays they're supposed to make. You can't give this team extra outs, give them extra opportunities to add on. It's a strong enough offense as it is without giving them any help in terms of even walks, but definitely make the plays that are in front of you and be opportunistic on offense. Again, who knows how many opportunities you're going to get against Jake Arrieta. When you do, you got to find ways to manufacture runs, or maybe just get a mistake and maybe pop a 2 or 3 run homer off of this guy, because he's just not going. You're not going to be able to bunch hits up against him, so you have to be opportunistic.
All right, we'll see if the Pirates and Andrew McCutchen can do just that. We'll be back shortly with the first pitch. Paul Alexander, first of all, back in Pittsburgh, the studios, in a game break.
Thank you very much, Greg. Much appreciated. Toronto Blue Jays shutting out the Texas Rangers last night in Arlington, but the best story of the night belonged to one of the Rangers relievers, and it's a good one indeed. Matt Bush, the first overall pick by the Padres in 2004, making his major league debut last night for the Rangers, retiring the side in the 9th, including striking out reigning AL MVP Josh Donaldson. Bush joins the Rangers, serving more than 3 years of a 51-month sentence for driving under the influence, causing serious bodily harm in 2012. Before signing with the Rangers in a minor league deal in December, Bush had last played in the minors back in 2011. And in the Bronx last night, White Sox ace Chris Sale kept the Majors' first 8-game winner after allowing just 1 run in a complete game effort against the Yankees. Sale became just the 4th White Sox pitcher in team history to win his opening 8 starts, and the first since John Garland did it in 2005. Sale lowered his ERA to 1.67 for the year, the complete game, 10th of his career, 2nd of the season. Meanwhile, Cardinals facing the Dodgers yesterday featured a very intense pitching matchup, an interesting one between college roommates Ross Stripling and Michael Wacha, but it was Stripling that would get the better of it in L.A. Here he is, as Diaz would get Colton Wong in the rundown. A.J. Ellis finally applies the tag, first out of the inning. Stripling brought the lumber to the ballpark as well. First major league hit, he does it against fellow Texas A&M Aggie Michael Wacha. Then we go to the 6th. That's where the Dodgers leading 7-4. Puig, opposite field home run, 4th of the year, and the Dodgers defeat the Cardinals by the score of 8-4. Astros Red Sox at Fenway. Oh, I'm sorry, we're going to get to the ballpark where we're finally going to get the first pitch. Bucks and Cubs, game 2 of this 3-game set. All of it straight ahead right here on Root Sports.
So are we here on a chilly afternoon in Chicago. Here's our RAV4 Pirates starting lineup. Jaso leading off, and he will be followed, of course, by Andrew McCutchen. And it's Gregory Polanco and Starling Marte. Last 6 games, Marte hitting at a .440 clip. Francisco Cervelli follows. Jung Ho Gong at third base. Bottom third of the order, Harrison, Mercer, Locke. Ready to go.
Jake Arrieta, done gushing about him.
Yeah,
the numbers are the numbers.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive, though.
And the first pitch strike. It is. I mean, what you're watching is something you may never see again in your lifetime. Certainly, we haven't seen it in our lifetimes.
Yeah, I can imagine this is what it was like facing Bob Gibson.
Yeah. Yep.
And that year 67 or 68.
Yep. 68, the year of the pitcher. And a couple of quick strikes on John Jaso. Last 27 starts, Arrieta is 22-1 with an 0.92 ERA. Weekly hit, second baseman up with it. Zobrist throws out Jaso. Defense behind Arrieta. Addison Russell is Zobrist's double play partner. Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo on the corners, Jorge Soler in left, Dexter Fowler in center, Jason Hayward the right fielder, and just off the DL today, Miguel Montero. Even though he is a left-handed hitter. Jeff Locke, the lefty, on the mound. Joe Madden gets Montero right back at it. And here's Andrew McCutchen.
I have to imagine, you know, going up, most of these guys, if not all of these guys, they look forward to matching
the challenge,
up.
right?
Yeah, the challenge. You turn it up a notch mentally because you know you're facing one of the elite guys. I mean, it would be like facing Randy Johnson or Pedro Martinez or Greg Maddux or, you know, the real greats in the game, these Hall of Fame type pitchers. That you know it's going to be rough, it's going to be tough. You just got to go out there and battle.
And weekly hit back to Arrieta, retires McCutchen. 2 up and 2 down. You know, Steve Blass pointed this out, and this may be, you know, obvious now that he said it, but I hadn't thought about it. You watch Jake Arrieta, it doesn't matter what the score is, what the inning is, John, his focus, you could just see it. Every pitch, he is locked in.
Yeah, I think that's what separates the true greats, is that, yeah, there is conviction with each and every pitch as to, you know, if I'm going to try to throw it here, if I miss with this, I got to miss off the plate, not on the plate. You know, the great pitchers, I think, especially with runners on, key situations, they execute better than the average guy.
Ball one on Gregory Polanco. Jake Arrieta, 30-year-old native of Farmington, Missouri, was a 5th-round pick of the Baltimore Orioles 8 years ago. And this is, going to go down perhaps in history as maybe the most lopsided trade. If it's not Babe Ruth like it, it's pretty close. When the Red Sox sold him to the Yankees, I mean, they got this guy along with Pedro Strop for Scott Feldman. No disrespect to the pitcher Feldman and Steve Clevenger. July 2nd, 2013.
I mean, that's pretty lopsided.
The Cubs traded Lou Brock to St. Louis, and maybe up until this trade, that one has stood out toward left center. And Fowler there. 1, 2, 3. So Jake Arrieta. Gregory Polanco flies out. Here comes Jeff Locke. Cubs are coming to bat. Look, there's some Bucco fans. Roberto Clemente cap and young lady in a Penguin cap. Take a look at the Chicago Cubs starting lineup. Dexter Fowler, Jason Hayward, Chris Bryant. .375 against Pirates pitching this season. Anthony Rizzo is the cleanup man, then Ben Zobrist and Jorge Soler. Addison Russell, Miguel Montero, and Arrieta against Jeff Locke.
Jeff Locke, here's his Hyundai numbers. 1-2, 4.68 ERA, has pitched well his last 3 times out, as we just mentioned. And the walk's a little bit high, just 3 more punch outs than walks. Opponent average will also come down.
Third straight lefty these Cubs have seen. They were beaten by Drew Pomerantz and the Padres. Second half of their doubleheader Wednesday night. And yesterday, Francisco Liriano, who had good career numbers against the Cubs before yesterday. Dexter Fowler, .459 on base percentage. That is second in the National League now. Fowler batting right-handed, and it's 2-0. 1 for 5 RBI double in the 8th inning in yesterday's game. Francisco Liriano, no excuses. He, after the game, talked about how just couldn't let up, and he did. At 3-2 pitch to Russell after he walked Soler. And then that 2-out 3-run homer by David Ross in the 5th. Ice the game for them. Made it 8-0. Andrew McCutcheon's home run in the 9th. Made it a 9-4 score. Well, look at that pitch. Take off. I mean, with Fowler's speed, that ball doesn't go out of play. If that had been like a ball 4 or strike 3.
Yeah.
Or that caromed around hockey puck style. Line towards center. And a breeze blowing in. One away. And
you know, even though the ball was hit hard, it's the one thing that I think Jeff Locke has done a better job of. I mean, we've watched him over the years against right-handed batters come inside, come inside, come inside. And he's always, you know, been pretty good if he was getting the call in there and was able to locate on the inside corner. A 2-1 pitch and a 3-2 pitch was fastball, like a 2-seam fastball, down and away, nicely located. Hard to get hurt when you're able to execute that pitch to a righty, especially nowadays, because I think so many right-handed batters expect Jeff Locke to come inside exclusively with the fastball.
Clint Hurdle was addressing that issue, that he thinks that's one of the reasons why Locke has gotten better. He's not as predictable. This is in the air to center. You saw the wind conditions. 2 outs, different than yesterday. Blowing straight out now. In the center toward right. There you see the breeze here at Wrigley. Left-handed hitters would be favored here today. Pirates 0-4 against the Cubs through this season series. Chris Bryant, 6th home run of the year yesterday.
That's the one thing that you look at a guy like Chris Bryant, you saw it right away last year when he came up to the big league club, and his approach to hitting. He's not up there just sitting and spinning and trying to pull the ball. Hits the ball to all fields with power. You know, the home run he hit yesterday, now he didn't crush it, and he got a little help from the wind, and it went to the shortest part of the ballpark. But the pitch was actually inside. This one, a fastball up, gets it by him. But he hit a fastball off the plate in against Liriano, was able to muscle it out to left center. You know, most pull hitters, which he's not, you know, would come around it or pull it foul. It's rare to see a home run hitter to be able to hit a pitch off the plate in to left center field.
And this in the air. So 3 fly balls, 1 line drive. And Jeff Locke matches Arrieta through 1 inning. 0-0.
Scoreless one as we get a look at the play ball patches above the Pirates P. I'm Robbie and Mikowski. If you haven't noticed those yet, that's because it's a special weekend in Major League Baseball. It's the inaugural play ball weekend, a league-wide effort between Major League Baseball and its 30 clubs to engage young fans and celebrate the continued support of youth participation in baseball and softball. A lot of players and coaches are wearing these play ball shirts under their uniforms today, and the message here, Greg and John, is simple: play ball, whether it's in a youth league or just some friends going out playing casually. And how about this? A recent survey just showed that baseball participation was up almost 4.5% from 2014 to last year. And let's hope it continues, guys.
That's great, and a great initiative on the part of Major League Baseball and all the teams to encourage youngsters to get out there and play ball. Doesn't matter, baseball, softball, wiffle ball.
Yeah, I think it's kind of shocking, organized baseball, and especially the inner city, how low participation is. I think about just growing up in Carrick, and there had to be a dozen or 14 little league teams, and now there's just a couple. It's a shame. You know, the kids need to go out and play, and nothing wrong with getting your buddies together and going out and playing some pickup games.
Absolutely.
I mean, we had some epic wiffle ball.
Oh man, I still,
battles.
to me, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
You only need a couple guys.
That's it.
In a small yard, play wiffle ball. A lot of these major league players, when they were youngsters, played wiffle ball.
Every day we were
Yep.
playing wiffle ball.
Oh man, imitating your favorite stars. For me, when I was growing up, I was imitating Hank Aaron, I think it was the 74 Braves. Hank Aaron, they had, I believe, 3 players, if I'm not mistaken, hit 40 or more home runs in 1 year. Davey Johnson was the second baseman, Darrell Evans was the third baseman, and Hank Aaron, of course. And that was my team. You know, when you got up there and you pretended to be those guys when you're playing wiffle ball?
We were the Phillies versus the Pirates.
Oh,
you know, and
talk
so
about epic. Those matchups. And Marte is a strikeout victim. Arrieta takes care of the Pirates left fielder, 7th in the league in hitting, but see this 6th pitch.
Just the four-seam fastball as you see him throwing across his body, stepping right at that right-handed batter and then throwing across.
Bob and Joe are big. Well, I don't know about Bob. I know Joe is. Joe wanted to get involved in our wiffle ball games down in Bradenton this past March.
And then we had to hit righty or lefty. I mean, it didn't matter if it was a left-handed batter. So I mean, you had to learn how to hit lefty, and you know it was full speed pitching-wise. You get that wiffle ball with a big break, and you drew a strike zone behind the batter. We played on the front street, so there'd be a wall, and then we'd put a chalk line of the strike zone and have an umpire. And
if you got to play in your backyard and you hit the roof of the house or over it, that's a home run.
I mean,
all kinds of ways to be creative to play ball.
And you only need about 8 guys to go and pick up a regular game.
Yep.
You just, it was center field and over. You
exactly.
just
right field's dead.
Yep. Good fun. Didn't need a first baseman. You just get it to the pitcher before you reach first. You were out.
It's pretty incredible how much fun you can have. You get a couple of buddies together, go out and play some baseball. And now Cervelli toward the line and right. And Hayward is there to make the catch just before crossing over the foul line. Here's a play ball tweet from Point Park University. Fields occupied, kids running drills. Gotta love hashtag play ball weekend. All over the country, that initiative for kids to get out there and play this great, great game. It's the greatest game on earth. Boy, girl, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter the age. Chung Ho Gong takes a strike.
And I think about all the big league players, everybody that's played through college and into pro ball, and you think of all the help they got along the way from various different coaches and volunteers and in your youth leagues and everywhere else.
And they play a lot of ball in the Dominican, of course.
Yep.
And don't have to be, and oftentimes aren't the greatest conditions. Jung-Ho Kang, who's played it growing up in South Korea. And trying to figure out this guy, Jake Arrieta, who's 5 up and 5 down. And sometimes it looks like he's playing a game of wiffle ball. And he's out there.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't get a call. Home plate umpire is Brian Knight. That is so rare. Just one pitch by Arrieta there, way out of the zone. Todd Titchener at first base. Bill Welke's the crew chief at second, and Pat Hoberg is at third base. Arrieta has walked 16. Make it 17. A 2-out free pass. His start against the Pirates at PNC Park on the 3rd of this month, when he walked the first 2 batters of the ball game, John Jaso and Andrew McCutchen, first time in his career. He'd ever done that, but no cause for alarm from Joe Madden. He knew, watching Arrieta now, that Arrieta just was able to bear down and retire the next 3 men, and that was pretty much it. He breezed through 7 innings of 2-hit shutout ball. Josh Harrison, 1 for 4 yesterday, a bunt single and then stole second. 1 for 10 in his career, regular season career, against Arrieta, who's now gone 23 consecutive innings, including his wild card game shutout, without allowing a run against the Pirates.
I just noticed, like, even the 3-1 pitch to Jung-Ho Kang, as overpowering as he can be and how good he has been, he doesn't give in. You fall behind 3-1, it's 2 outs, and he's still trying to hit a location, a good pitcher's, where he's not going to get hurt with a long ball, and so and he knows he could pitch out of trouble, but he's not careless in a sense to where, oh, okay, I'm 3-1, it's 2 outs, I'm just going to challenge here, because he realizes one swing of the bat cost him a run.
And Josh Harrison points to second, so Kang trots down there. The ball just came off of Montero's mitt. Pass ball.
The ball was supposed to be away. It rode up and in to Josh Harrison off the end of the glove of Montero, and now this is a chance where you could be opportunistic. You were given a free pass and a pass ball, and so who knows, a bloop, a grounder that gets through the infield, maybe the first run.
Harrison disappointed in that call.
A breaking ball, a slider, looked up in the zone. WB Mason strike zone has it right at the top of the zone, outside corner.
Still 2-2.
Do you remember him pitching in Baltimore in spring training?
Just, yeah, vaguely, but certainly nothing that stood out.
I remember the velocity, but I remember it getting hit. I remember, a big guy that was throwing 94, 95 miles per hour and had a slider. I don't remember it being across the body as much. I do remember, he'd throw a couple of dominating innings, it seemed like, and then all of a sudden, teams where the Pirates would get to him.
Strikes out Harrison. Go to the bottom of the second. 0-0.
Hi, we need a truck for our family.
PNC Park. Get there early, be one of the first 20,000 fans. Take home a Raise the Jolly Roger bobblehead, presented by Allegheny Health Network. For tickets, go to pirates.com. Pirates' next homestand begins Monday night. Our UPMC scoreboard, it is 0-0 going to the bottom of the second inning. Jeff Locke got 3 fly ball outs. Dexter Fowler, Jason Hayward, Chris Bryant. Now it is Anthony Rizzo, Ben Zobrist, and Jorge Soler. Tied for third with 29 RBIs. He's reached base safely now in 25 consecutive games. Longest active streak going currently in the league.
He didn't seem too pleased with either of those first 2 strike calls. Both top of the zone.
And another fly ball. Again with the conditions. Might as well take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Different story yesterday.
Sure, that's what the first thing a pitcher does when he gets to the ballpark here in Chicago. Checks out the wind. See if it'll be a factor. I'm sure Cubs hitters will tell you that the wind blows in more than it blows out. They think it's a disadvantage playing here.
Switch hitting veteran Ben Zobrist. It's ball 1. Flags of some of the greats: Billy Williams, Ryan Sandberg, Greg Maddux. Ernie Banks on the other side, Ron Santo, Fergie Jenkins. Two and one.
And it's almost been exclusively a way for Jeff Locke this so far, the first time through the order of the right-handed batters.
And the first hit, softly hit, past the left side of the infield for Ben Zobrist.
And again, the fastball. You see the first 3 were all off the plate. That one bottom of the zone. That actually a changeup. That's a good location. Down and away, just better hitting. Zobrist, who has been on fire, hitting just about everything thrown up there.
First hit of the game belongs to the Cubs and Ben Zobrist. You see under 200. He had a hit and a walk and a run scored yesterday. And another ball in the air. McCutcheon. 2 outs. Francisco Cervelli checks out his equipment as Soler checks back the dugout. See if that backswing. Yep, well, got Cervelli. Oh, that got him pretty good too.
Luckily, it looked like it got him out in front of the helmet. Catchers take a beating in more ways than one.
In the air.
Nice. Easy breezy.
Yeah, that's a pretty strong couple of innings for Jeff Locke. 0-0. Scoreboard, it is 0-0. Head to the third. Arrieta now faces Jordy Mercer. And Mercer, a high fly ball to center field. Toward the wall and caught by Dexter Fowler.
That close again, the wind holding it up. That little bit of a breeze that we had in yesterday's game, that carries it a good 10 or so rows in the bleachers out there. This one gets knocked down. Good swing, good contact. Wrong day.
Arrieta has given up 2 home runs this season. He falls behind Jeff Locke, 2-0. Lowest ERA in the major leagues at 1.13 coming into this game. And the second baseman Zobrist. 2 outs. Cheer on your Buccos on a free shirt Friday, next Friday night. John Jaso models, the one you'll receive if you're one of the first 20,000 fans at PNC Park. The Pirates and the Rockies, 7:05 start. Free shirt presented by Milan. Tickets at pirates.com/free shirt Friday. Jeff Locke back in the dugout. Jaso bounced out to start the ball game. Lefties do hit much better against Arrieta. Left-handed batters hitting .226 against him. Righties just .118. At 159 combined batting average against, the lowest in baseball. There you see the splits.
Much better.
Yeah, I mean, it's true.
You're right.
Wrigley Field in Chicago, a chilly afternoon, 0-0 as we move to the bottom of the third.
How close was Al Oliver to getting into the Hall of Fame?
That's debatable. I think he fell, relatively speaking, far short of the necessary percentages. That's talked about as is Dave Parker.
Yeah.
Two guys, if you look at their numbers, their stats, pretty close. Neither reached the 3,000 hit plateau, but if I'm not mistaken, I think Oliver was a career 300+ hitter.
Yeah, I thought so.
And Montero, his first game back, is going to be retired. 4-1. Shallow right field to the pitcher. Look at that.
And that's a heck of a play by Josh Harrison. I mean, Locke, obviously, he gets over there in time, but Josh Harrison from shallow right, which isn't, the most common throw for these second basemen, but he leads Jeff Locke perfectly to the bag. A moving target. That's no easy throw.
Here's Arrieta. Look at that 250 hitter, among all the other things for which he's praised. And swing the bat. 3 career home runs. A 2-run homer off Shelby Miller in his second start this season. Hit a home run off A.J. Burnett September of last year. Jeff Locke, however, strikes him out looking. Top of the order, Dexter Fowler. Point Park University tweet coming up. Locke is wearing his lucky socks. Look out, hashtag Arrieta, hashtag Let's Go Bucks. And then the socks that show the gold stripes.
4th straight?
Started it when he had that good start against the Rockies on April the 25th, so why not?
Yeah.
You don't think players are a superstitious bunch?
Opponent's hitting just 191, a win, no losses, ERA under 3. It's not superstition, it's routine.
Yeah. Did you have any routines?
I never considered myself superstitious, but I would wear the same clothing if I had a good game.
No, you weren't superstitious.
Routine. Hey, you know how everybody jumps over the white lines and everything? I made sure that it was one of my things, and I guess you can call it superstitious, that I would not change my steps. So if I was hitting the line, I was hitting the line. I wouldn't like stutter step, but I didn't purposely miss the chalk. I would hit the chalk on occasion.
Again, we're not talking about a superstition here with John. It's just a routine. That's all. Yeah.
Didn't want to change.
Didn't care about hitting the chalk line, but just the right number of steps. Fly ball to right. Back is Polanco, and still going back. That wind carrying that way, but he still has room. And Jeff Locke matching Arrieta through 3.
It's time for the Toyota RAV4th inning. The all-wheel drive RAV Hybrid has performance that will make you rethink hybrid. Let's go Bucks!
So it is 0-0. On to the fourth. See the Cubs with the only hit. And that's something that, you know, you watch every time Arrieta goes out there. He's talked about it. But, you know, why not think that you can no-hit the opponent every time out? Already a couple for Arrieta, including the no-hitter against the Reds. 5 starts back. A second career no-hitter. Excellent.
That's well.
Yeah. Ball to strike on McCutchen. It has been Jake's world. Jake Arrieta since arriving in Chicago. 42-13 as a Cub. 2 no-hitters. 6 complete games. 5 shutouts. The reigning Cy Young and 3 consecutive Pitcher of the Month awards going back to last year. Crazy. It's just ridiculous. Yeah. 2-2. McCutchen not happy with that call.
Breaking ball, slider, top of the zone, inside corner. Almost impossible to hit.
Lays off that.
I think that's where he meant to throw the previous slider. 10 earned runs in his last 19 starts. 20 in his last 27. Crazy.
Day automotive this day in Pirates history. This date 6 years ago, Andrew McCutchen had his first career 5-hit game. 10-6 win here at Wrigley. 5 for 5 home runs, scored 5 times. Garrett Jones also 5 hits in the game. He and McCutchen become the first pair of Bucco teammates to have 5 hits in a game since Willie Stargell and Bob Robertson did it in 1970. May 14th, 2010. Hits this one hard past Rick Sofield, third base coach. Had to hop out of the way there. Speaking of which, also on this date in 1950, Bucks first baseman John Hopp, nicknamed Hippity. John Hippity Hopp went 6 for 6 with a pair of home runs to beat the Cubs 16-9. This date in 1950.
Hippity Hop.
Hippity Hop.
Big rip from Andrew.
Still a full count. 2 of the game's best right here in a battle. Arrieta and McCutchen. It'll be at least a 10-pitch at bat. McCutchen, the former MVP. Arrieta, the reigning Cy Young Award winner. McCutchen, one of the few batters, not only on the Pirates, but maybe in baseball, that can boast a batting average of 300 or better against Arrieta. And look at that at bat. Rips it into left center field. And Soler not able to cut it off. So McCutchen thought about 3 and probably could have made it, but he shut it down. He is at second with nobody out.
Yeah, that would have been huge against a guy like Arrieta, a leadoff triple. And I don't know if he realized Soler, and I'm not exactly sure what it was. Look at the location of this pitch. That's a good pitch. A breaking ball, 3-2 on the outside corner, just above the knee. And Andrew able to go out there and hit hard into the gap. Fowler with some issues, trying to grab it. Andrew knows he has a double. This is not a great ballpark to get 3. And that little bit of a hesitation, he knows he could have made it. Without that little hesitation, he figured, no, don't want to make the first out over there.
There goes the no-hitter. Gregory Polanco.
Try to get him over and get him in.
Polanco was the last Pirate to pick up an RBI against Jake Arrieta. It was on a ground out, the 8th inning, September 16th last year. Scored Sean Rodriguez. A game that would go extra innings. The Cubs won it 3-2. And into center field, a base hit. McCutchen is going to be held at third. First and third. Boy, let's hope the Pirates can at least score one here.
A little bit of a hesitation on this line drive, a hanging slider down the middle. Polanco. And you see the little hesitation from McCutchen because it was a line drive, making sure it wasn't going to be caught. Then he breaks hard. Early stop sign by Rick Sofield.
Now the infield will look for a double play ball. Starling Marte struck out in the second. Picked out of the dirt.
Yeah, that's a tough one. The fastball, you don't anticipate it being in the dirt. 94 miles per hour. And good soft hands from Montero.
Bucks try to break this string of 26 consecutive innings, including that wild card game, without scoring a run against Arrieta. And John, now do you push the button, maybe press an issue, even with nobody out? Do you think about sending Polanco? You've got great speed on the corners.
Arrieta could be very slow to the plate. If he doesn't slide step, it's an easy stolen base for a guy like Polanco.
There he goes. Fouled back.
That would have been an easy stolen base for Polanco because Arrieta has a higher leg kick, pretty deliberate to the plate. And obviously if he slide steps, you got to shut it down, but you see the big leg kick, you have to go, and Polanco did. Would have stolen it easily.
Opponents 5 for 6 in steals this year against Jake Arrieta. They were 27 out of 33 last year. There he goes again. Taken for a strike. Throw down, stolen base. Good call, John. That wasn't close.
No, and again, it's about being opportunistic. And you know, he gives you an opportunity to take a bag, you go ahead and take it. But in the other sense, though, with especially nobody out first and third, if he ends up going with a slide step and he gets it quicker to the plate, you can't go. You can't make that mistake and make an out on the bases.
Second and third. Nobody out. An absolutely golden opportunity here for the Pirates. Against the best in baseball, Jake Arrieta. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Did he go? Yes. A strikeout. Number 4 for Arrieta, 1 away.
And didn't look like much of an offer watching it live. You see here. Yeah. A little further than I thought. Two-seamer, and it's one thing. Arrieta will throw a fastball that cuts, and then when you start seeing that looked like the Marte out of his hand, like it was going to be on the inside part of the plate, and if it cuts, it stays in the zone. But that a two-seamer ran the other way.
Cervelli lines it to center field. Sofield going to wave home Polanco. Here comes the throw. He's safe. Cervelli to second. Pirates lead 2-0. Cervelli thinks about third and holds.
That's a big, big hit.
A 2-0 lead. Stop the presses against Jake Arrieta.
He's human. He can make mistakes, and you can take advantage of them. Great hitting from McCutchen. Polanco hits a mistake for a base hit, and that breaking ball right there, not a bad pitch. Great hitting from Cervelli. A slider down the zone. If you try to pull it, you probably hit it on the ground. You hit it up the middle. It's a line drive, 2 RBI single.
And that man at second base with 1 out. And in the dirt, and Montero couldn't find it, so Cervelli is at third. On a wild pitch. Like Montero thought it might have gone behind him, didn't realize it was right there.
It's the breaking ball. He does a good job of blocking it, but didn't realize it was right in front. And look at Cervelli. He sees Montero turn his back, so he knows he has time. Another opportunity.
Infield in. And Gong hit by the pitch. 92 miles an hour. That is the first batter Arrieta has hit this season.
You have to wonder.
You absolutely have to wonder.
Make note of that one, because that didn't just clip him. I mean, that was right at his back.
Look at that.
Right in the, between the A and the N.
Not sure you even have to wonder. This sets up a double play for him.
Man, yeah, that doesn't.
Suspicious, to say the least.
Very suspicious. That is up and dead center.
Remember Tony Watson in the wild card game last year? Took matters into his hands. Ended up hitting Arrieta for Arrieta hitting a Pirate earlier in that game. Yeah. Take note as Harrison looks to continue this inning. And off of Arrieta, deflects right to Zobrist. And a double play.
My goodness.
What a fortuitous bounce for Arrieta and the Cubs.
Ouch.
back. This play.
Yeah, no doubt that's going up the middle, and that's a base hit, scoring one more, and maybe a first and third one-out situation. And good job by Jung-Ho Kang holding up there between first and second, so he couldn't be tagged. But the second baseman, Zobrist, the quick decision. He had to be quick with the decision to flip it to the shortstop, Russell. And a quick turn, a strong throw, just getting Jay-Hay. That was another slider. By the way, Jake Arrieta on the year. Opponents hitting only .073 against that slider. McCutcheon's double was a slider. Polanco's hits a slider. Cervelli's hits a slider. And that ball that Jay-Hay hit was a slider. Wow. That would have been 4 hits in an inning.
My gosh.
.073 against his slider. He probably doesn't give up 4 hits in a game off of it.
How about that? Hayward, Bryant, Rizzo. Past Locke, and Harrison tries to make a fabulous play, but an infield hit for Hayward.
Oh boy, that was a heck of an effort, and I thought maybe it arrived in time. Todd Tichenor with the kind of a delayed safe call. I'm wondering if Jaso stayed on the bag. This little flip, it's a tough catch for a first baseman because it's happening so quickly, and it's such a short throw, plus it's bouncing. If he's on the bag, he's out.
Pirates are thinking about challenging this. Clint Hurdle decides against it.
You can't tell if he's on the bag. If he's on the bag, he's out.
I don't think there's any doubt he's on the bag. Well, Jeff Locke. Yeah, it's in the glove, right? So there's no doubt about that. And the other issue regarding his foot, and that one angle we had, looked like it was Jaso's foot was clearly on the bag. Long, deep foul. Allegheny Health Network Supermo look.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I don't think there's anything clear that suggests that he's on the bag, although Todd Tichenor didn't wave his arms as if he was off the bag. And I wonder if that's something that plays into the replay. You know, when they call back to New York and you have the crew chief and the whoever umpire made the call, to where, okay, we got headsets, they're checking replays. Okay, the ball beat the runner, and then, well, did you see his foot off the bag? And then he could say no, his foot was definitely on the bag. I had him beating the throw. Yeah. I'm guessing that plays a part. Cervelli, look at him holding that fastball. Thought it was in the zone. Guessing rolled up. And there you see, not up.
Didn't get a call from Brian Knight. Big 2-2 pitch coming with nobody out. Hayward, 4 steals in 5 attempts this season. And now a full count. Rizzo to follow.
Let's see a double play ball. See if Hayward's going anywhere.
All four. Locke wanted that pitch, so did Cervelli. 2 on, no one out.
He goes away once again. It's pretty much where Cervelli's set up, but just off the edge. I wonder if that's just if they make a call to check on a pitch. You know, if they're on the phone checking on the pitch location.
Yeah. Saw Clint Hurdle on that phone. Rizzo flied to left in the second.
Amazing how close this guy gets on the plate, opens up. Pitch to Rizzo had to almost look inside as close as he is to home plate.
High fly ball, deep right field. 3-2 Cubs. Rizzo's 11th. $11 homers, second off a lefty this season. They hit 2 3-run homers yesterday and a 2-run homer. This one with 2 aboard makes it 3-0.
It's just a pop-up in a lot of ballparks, but look at location. You know, that's an off-speed pitch that's pretty much middle. And again, he's on the dish. He's on the dish because he likes the ball on the inside part of the plate. Doesn't get all of it. He had help from the wind, and it's only 3 or 4 rows deep. Probably the only ballpark it's in the seats. But again, a pitch down the middle.
Oh, Arrieta now has the lead.
And you can nitpick about a lot this inning. Okay, the bang play at first. You know, maybe Hayward's out. The 1-2 pitch to Bryant, it's in the strike zone. Call the ball. He ends up walking. But yeah, that 0-1 pitch, center cut for Rizzo. The way things are going for these Cubs, a lot of things going their way.
Two and 2 now on Zobrist. Rizzo now with 32 runs batted in on the year, which at the moment would give him the National League lead. Still 3 and 2 on Zobrist. Tied for 5th with 28 RBIs in the senior circuit. Hard hit ball into the seats there.
Can't imagine he caught it.
And ball 4. Second walk in the inning. And here comes Ray Searage.
And certainly not what Ray Searage wanted after the big top of the 4th inning. Taking the lead, a bit of a bad break. It could have been even more than 2 runs if Arrieta and the Cubs didn't get the break on Harrison's hard hit ground ball. But, just 3 batters later, they lose the lead.
You saw Jared Hughes limbering up. Rizzo's home run Means he's reached base safely now in 26 straight games and has given his Cubs a 3-2 lead in this 4th inning. Somebody got tossed. Somebody just got ejected, I believe.
I'm guessing Ray Searage.
The 30-second clock was up. Bill Welke. This is the first time we've ever seen this. If that's why, if indeed he was ejected, first time I've ever seen that.
I can't imagine he's being ejected because of the 30-second clock as much as maybe arguing that 1-2 pitch we talked about with Chris Bryant. Yeah, he's not talking to Jeff Locke. He's talking to the home plate umpire, Brian Knight. Although he wasn't looking at Brian Knight, I'm certain that's what he was doing.
Ray Searage ejected. That's enough. That's enough. Brian Knight tosses the Pirates pitching coach. That is a rarity.
Yep.
So the pitching coach get ejected. Jorge Soler, count of 0-2. And right after the ejection, Locke strikes him out.
Goes with the changeup, left it up, but still Soler out in front.
You know, Ray Searage has these guys' backs. You hear the pitchers talking about that all the time. That's one of the things that endears him to them. And he's always speaking positively toward them publicly, certainly. And you have to feel, if you're Jeff Locke, you have to appreciate what his pitching coach just did for him.
No question.
Not that you don't want to succeed anyway, regardless, but well, now more than ever. Oh, 1-2 on Addison Russell. The home run by Rizzo, the 4th allowed by Locke. Mercedes Rojas is the bullpen coach, and you figure he's the now acting pitching coach.
Yeah.
In the air to right, coming on Polanco. A chance at first, but he'll hold off as Obrist gets back. Would this be a perfect situation for the Pirates to get Montero out? And then if you want to exact some revenge, you've got Arrieta leading off the next inning.
Yeah. Well, that's the one thing you rarely see. I mean, obviously, you mentioned it last year in the wild card game, Watson hitting Arrieta. But that's a one line you'd never see these guys.
Not enough.
They never hit the pitcher.
No.
Ever. It's always
that's why it's so unusual for Watson to hit Arrieta.
Yeah. It's always about hitting the other team's best player or whatever. It's like, I think if pitchers were held accountable for hitting the other team's guys by getting hit themselves, they won't hit other teams' guys.
And by the way, to make matters worse, it was Gong that was hit by the pitch today. And of course, you still remember, as Tony Watson sure does, and the rest of the teammates, that it was a former Cub, Chris Coughlin, who ended Gong's year last year. And who knows what happens if Gong doesn't get injured, where the Pirates go. They could have ended up winning the division. It was such a big bat, maybe the biggest bat in the lineup at that point. It's 3-0 on Montero. Tony Watson took matters into his own hands that wild card game. He went ahead and hit Arrieta, who had hit 2 Pirates, Cervelli and Harrison. again, this is the wild card game after Cervelli and Harrison had been hit earlier in the game. Arrieta takes exception. And then both benches empty. Sean Rodriguez in the middle of it all. Takes a swing. Garrett Cole, hot. Ground ball, past Jaso, gets to his feet, bobbled, and safe there. First and second.
Yeah, hopefully this one doesn't end up costing the Pirates. It's just J-Hay trying to come up a little bit too quick.
Harrison charged with the air, his 6th.
He has more time, I think, than he realizes. And you know, infielders, a lot of times they funnel that ball in. You'll see the glove, the top hand comes over the ball as the ball goes into the glove. And he started lifting that glove up before the top hand was over it. Showing some respect for the hitting abilities of Jake Arrieta, starting him off with a changeup.
Pirates had a 52 consecutive errorless inning streak going until that Harrison miscue. Six errors now on the season for the Pirates second baseman. 2 on, 2 out. Arrieta, the 8th man to bat in the inning.
You know, that's still not feeling good. Probably tightening up top of Jung Ho's back.
Full count. Fowler next. Now maybe reaching for a bullpen phone. Fly ball. Shallow center. McCutchen says he has it. And that'll do it. But an infield hit by Hayward on a bang-bang play at first. The walk to Bryant, the homer by Rizzo. 3-2 Chicago.
Guys?
All right, Paul, thanks. Boy, David Ortiz having one of his best years and calling it quits after this season. And Jake Arrieta was trailing after giving up 2 runs in the top of the 4th, but his team comes back to score 3, the Rizzo homer. Now Jordy Mercer sent a ball to the wall in left center field when he led off the 3rd inning.
Back to work. Get some base runners.
To 3rd, Chris Bryant.
Baseball could be so frustrating sometimes. You think about, Jordy Mercer. He hits a bomb to left center. The wind holds it up. And Rizzo mishits a ball the other way with the wind. Get a 3-run bomb. It's frustrating.
Now Locke.
Taking all the way here.
Hmm, 3-0.
Take 2 more.
My gosh, and that just is, you talk about baseball being a funny, crazy game. Jake Arrieta walks Jeff Locke on 4 pitches. Follow Pirates Baseball live with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. A 4-pitch walk to Jeff Locke. It's the 2nd. Base on balls allowed by Arrieta. Now Jaso. Big fist. Hold that beverage.
A Hulk hand.
Yeah. Jaso has grounded out and struck out. And now 1 for 10 against Jake Arrieta. Matt Joyce is a .412 career hitter against Arrieta. Clint Hurdle was asked about that. He said, yeah, I started him just to see what his swings would look like against Arrieta in that game May the 3rd at PNC Park, and he was 0 for 3 with 3 groundouts. I want to, with that day off the other day, I want to get my regulars back in there. Jaso goes down looking. Number 5 for Arrieta. This season, the breakdown of pitches and what the opposition hits against him coming into this game.
Yeah. Pretty impressive that the Pirates all in 1 inning. 3 hits, producing the first couple of runs on that slide against that slider. And this might kind of sound silly, but with Jaso up, Rizzo was playing behind Jeff Locke. And now Rizzo's playing well off the line. Locke could walk into second base if you wanted to take a chance, a 1-run game.
Yep. Well, you do things differently. against a guy like Arrieta. And you're right. I mean, they're giving it to you. Now it's 0-2 on McCutchen.
It would be almost a situation where Nick Lave would say, hey, I want you to take off, walk off as far as Rizzo gives you, and then he lifts, go. They won't even throw. It's an easy bag. He could take another 8 feet and just start.
Yeah, they're paying no attention to him.
Start walking and take off right now.
Yep. Struck him out looking. 3-2 Cubs.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Equinox and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Barrel. We'll beat anybody's price. Find out more at barrel.com. Let's go Bucks!
Well, she said yes. At the ballpark, happy couple there. Cub fans to boot. 3-2 Chicago. Dexter Fowler takes ball one. And in the air, out of play. Back to work for Jeff Locke. Top of the order, Fowler, Hayward, Bryant. Two and two. Line to center in the first. Hit a ball to the warning track his last time up. Third time through the order for Locke. One out. Fowler 0 for 3. The fourth inning started when Jason Hayward hit that slow chopper to the right side of the infield. Josh Harrison going to John Jaso. The first base umpire Todd Titchener called Hayward safe. Pirates decided not to challenge it. Close play. Chris Bryant then walked and Rizzo homered. Rizzo and his manager, Joe Madden. And a base hit into left center. Hayward was involved in a really long slump, might be coming out of it. He was 0 for 20 at one stretch before getting a hit last week. Now he's hit safely in 6 straight games.
He always struck me as the type that liked to get extended, liked the ball out over the plate. He uses the whole field. Good pitch there, good location again. That Jeff Locke able to throw that fastball down and away to the righties. Seeing it more and more, that combination, the fastball away, changeup away. And he still has this, that's ability to go in on righties. Got ahead of Bryant last inning in the 4th. He was ahead 1 and 2, ended up walking him. Never a good idea in front of Rizzo. Another fastball away, gets some chase.
Number 3 for Locke.
This is too close to take. It appeared to be just off the plate. It was Bryant just trying to fight it off. He gets by him.
Rizzo's home run, his 11th of the year, erased a 2-0 deficit. Two and 0. Rizzo went 8 for 14 in that series at PNC Park last homestand. And a fly ball to Polanco. Credit Jeff Locke. Scoreless 5th. Bucks trail by 1. far-flung odyssey through the low ranks of baseball before re-emerging at the highest level of the sport. Hear his story, new Inside Pirates Baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network, today after postgame on Root Sports. 3-2 ball game. Pirates-Cubs series here at Wrigley. The Cubs have won 4 of the games played so far. The 19-game season series. And they lead the Central by 8 games over Pittsburgh. Blanco showed bunt, but able to pull back. Two now on Gregory Polanco. He has flied to center and singled to center field and stole second base.
Arrieta gets ahead with the off-speed pitch. A good slider. Last couple of batters he finished with the fastball. And that's what he tried to do there. We got Jason McCutcheon looking at fastballs. Last 2 outs in the 5th. Missing badly with that offering. 93 miles per hour.
If he can lift one to right, he's got a chance like Rizzo did.
Sure. Looks like a curveball.
Number 7 and 3 in a row now for Arrieta.
Yeah, he's got a good curveball too. Late downward action.
He's got Marte both times, struck him out, and Marte calls time as Arrieta was about ready to deliver the pitch. Arrieta looking for his 7th consecutive win this season. Already became the first Cubs pitcher with wins in his first 6 starts since 1908. Three-finger Mordecai Brown on each of his first 11 starts in 1908.
Old school. Despite the elements.
Struck him out looking. 8 Ks for Arrieta. 3 straight times he's gotten Marte. And now he has struck out 4 in a row.
And again, gets ahead with the off-speed stuff, finishes it with the fastball. 2-seamer, perfectly placed.
Cervelli has lined out to right and singled home 2 runs in the 4th. Maybe the Pirates trying to disrupt his timing, anything they can think of, calling timeout late.
Ooh, that curveball doesn't get the call. Looked like a pretty good get me over pitch. Right on that outside corner.
Third baseman Bryant. And Arrieta retires the side in order. 5.5 played. Cubs lead 3-2.
The Pirates 3-2 here at Wrigley Field. Well, Joe Madden's wife, Jay, is the owner of a gym in Tampa, Florida, Epic Boxing and Fitness. And a couple of years ago, Francisco Cervelli was in Tampa in the offseason, went to his favorite Italian restaurant, which, by the way, is also Madden's favorite Italian restaurant. They got together. Madden invited him over with his wife, Jay, and said, hey, do you have a place to work out? Cervelli says, yeah, we have a couple. As you saw some footage from our IPV special on Francisco Cervelli taken at that gym. And Madden says to Cervelli, hey, you should come check out Jay's gym and see what you think of it. Madden set the whole thing up, and the rest, as they say, was history. And Francisco Cervelli's off-season spot, Greg and John, is the Epic Boxing and Fitness Gym owned by Jay Madden. How about that?
So I think that's why you heard Madden talking last homestand about how much he respects Cervelli. Great guy, got to know him. But there is an edge now between these two teams that is really turning into, we've talked about a rivalry between the Pirates and the Cardinals. There's a lot of respect between these two clubs, but this is turning into something different. And a lot of it has to do with the Cubs getting better, of course.
Yeah.
And now really taking it to the Pirates, going back to the wild card game. But when Chris Coughlin took out their star third baseman, Jung Ho Gong, late last summer and ended his year, a very traumatic knee and leg injury, and only this road trip did he come back. Going back to that wild card game. And then here today, Gong hit square in the back. Ben Zobrist on base for a third straight time.
And again, it's a young group for the most part, the Cubs. They are cocky, also confident, and you know, they know they're good. They know they're good. They're going to come out and beat you. I know, there was some hostility in that, not only the wild card game, but that first series in Pittsburgh.
Soler pops it way up on the right side. See who's going to call for it. Harrison.
And surprised we haven't really seen anything after that Jung Ho Gong.
And nothing has happened.
I mean, that right in the middle of the back, right between the A and the N and Gong.
And if you really want to send the message that we aren't going to take it anymore, easy for, I guess, us to say up here, but when you hit the first guy you see in the bottom half of the inning, and there are no questions asked.
Exactly.
Now bullpen action for the Pirates as Russell takes a strike. He's flied out twice. Not been a lot of ground balls hit. Jared Hughes starts to crank it up. But this would be a good time for Locke to get a ground ball now. Eleven outs in the air. And there's a drive deep to left. Addison Russell, a two-run bomb. And now it is 5-2. Russell's fourth. And of course, he homered yesterday.
Yeah, wind or no wind, didn't matter. That ball was hit right on the button. And that was a changeup left about thigh high, middle. And he got a hanging slider in yesterday's game against Francisco Liriano. This time a changeup left up.
Russell now with 4 homers, 27 ribbies on the year. Montero just back off the disabled list today. He's grounded out and reached on the Harrison error. Hit by the 0-2 pitch, and now both benches are warned.
What?
By the home plate umpire Brian Knight. Here comes Clint Hurdle. Cervelli basically saying, what is going on here? Both benches are warned. On. That's Cervelli talking to the crew chief, Bill Welke. Just nicked his jersey.
That's I mean, he's another guy. It's fairly close to the dish. The ball's not that far off the plate.
Now Clint Hurdle going to go to the right-hander Jared Hughes. That will be it for Locke.
If you have
A homer by Addison Russell. And that young Cub fan watching Jared Hughes take over to face Jake Arrieta.
7th appearance for Jared.
Well, back-to-back games, Clint Hurdle calls on a reliever to face a pitcher.
Yeah.
Pulled Liriano in the 5th inning yesterday and brought in Vogelsong with 2 outs in the 5th to face Hamill. Now calls on Hughes to face Arrieta with a man on and 1 out in the 6th.
That's a good pitch. Maybe because of where Cervelli's set up, he has to reach to his backhand in the strike zone.
Two and two. And now the full count. Dexter Fowler on deck.
A piece of clay or something got into Cervelli's eye. It's okay.
Walked him. I was going to say, you don't see managers let pitchers hit away in those situations. Madden did, and Arrieta ends up walking.
Yep.
Now Fowler turns over to the left side against the righty Jared Hughes. Recently back on the disabled list.
Watching that sinker sitting at 90 to 92. I know Jared thought maybe he was a little too strong when he first came off the DL. Wasn't getting the movement that he wanted. Now it looks like maybe backing off a little bit velocity wise to get that good sink on the fastball.
He's in the air to left, and Marte gonna have to play it on the hop. Another run in, and now it is 6-2.
Two strikes on Montero. You end up hitting him. You walk the opposing pitcher, and a lot of times it's going to come back and bite you, and it does here. That ball's hit off the end of the bat, just a little bloop into no man's land. But that's the hit obviously hurts you, but it's set up by the hit batter in the walk.
And there's no way that Locke was, by the way, sending a message. If he was, then shame on him and the Pirates on Montero. That's ridiculous. You think that Locke was intentionally, if he was, shame on him, because that doesn't send any message to anybody.
No.
breezing him on the jersey on an 0-2 pitch. And it closes the book on him, and it turns out to be a not so great outing for him. 6 runs in 5 1/3.
I mean, if you're going to send a message, you don't want it to look like an accident.
Yeah, I wonder.
An 0-2 pitch off the jersey is not an accident. Or, I mean, it looks like an accident. It is an accident.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously an accident. It's yeah. If you're going to send a message and say, hey, I'm protecting my guy Gung.
And again, the time to do it, I'm sorry, is when Hayward comes to the plate in the bottom of the 4th leading off.
Right after that.
Bang.
Yep.
You send the message.
Or when the pitcher comes up.
Yeah. Two and one on Hayward, who ended up leading off that bottom of the 4th and reached on the infield single. Bryant followed with a walk, and then the Rizzo homer. Three and one, and now Hughes in danger of walking Hayward ahead of Chris Bryant, and this game is close to getting out of hand. Not already, with Arrieta on the mound in a 4-run lead. A.J. Schugel up. And they are loaded for Bryant. Euclides Rojas has taken over as the acting pitching coach. Ray Searage ejected in the 4th inning. And everybody up for Chris Bryant. Flight out, walked, struck out against Locke. Homered yesterday. Walk to Arrieta. Now at 3rd base. Fowler, the RBI single at 2nd. Hayward walked. No 2 count on the 24-year-old Las Vegas native. Career with the bases loaded already. Wow. This young career. 3 grand slams.
Just 7 months in the big leagues.
And Jared Hughes gets the strikeout of Chris Bryant for the 2nd out. And one more big batter to get.
Yeah, Jared Hughes he added a little bit. This first fastball at 93, the firmest of the afternoon for him. And you know the sink is good when you get the guys chasing down in the zone. And after 2 straight sinkers, goes back to it 0-2, and that pitch well out of the zone and down. And when you can get a big league hitter to chase a fastball down around the ankles, that's pretty good movement.
Rizzo had a 3-run homer off Locke in the 4th. That gave the Cubs a 3-2 lead. Addison Russell a 2-run homer here in the 6th.
Good pick there from Cervelli.
Rizzo 4 for 10 in his career against Hughes. Hughes retired him yesterday, getting Rizzo to fly to left in the 7th inning of the 9-4 Cub victory. He has 2 career grand slams. Anthony Rizzo, drafted in the 6th round by the Boston Red Sox in 2007. And bounce to second baseman Josh Harrison. 9 men to the plate. They score 3, and the Cubs now ahead 6-2. September 17th, PNC Park. That's Chris Coughlin taking down Jung Ho Kang and ending his tremendous rookie season. Young writhing in pain, of course, had major surgery, just came back this road trip, and then Jake Arrieta, the first batter he has hit all season, hits Kang square in the back in the 4th inning, and there was a runner at third base, 1 out. That set up the double play, and he got it. The next batter, Josh Harrison, again a very fortuitous bounce. The ball was headed up the middle, deflected off of Arrieta. A double play, and now the Cubs and Arrieta have been rolling ever since. You want to talk about a turning point in a game? That was it.
Yeah, that was big. Got a bit of a break on the double play ball, but still had Arrieta on the ropes.
Cubs have now Chris Bryant in left field. Defensive replacement, Javier Baez at third.
Another thing I noticed is we slowed it down and showed that pitch that hit Jung Ho in the back. You know, he has the big leg kick. We've seen that at times. He's abbreviated it, not lifted it up so high. But
it's this one to right for Hayward.
And that ball was about halfway to the plate, maybe even more than halfway to the plate. His left leg was still up in the air. It's impossible to get out of the way if your feet aren't on the ground. And as you talk about timing with leg kicks and what have you, as far as hitting, it's a factor when a ball is coming at you at 93 or 94 miles per hour. Harder to get away if your feet aren't on the ground.
Josh Harrison has struck out and hit that ball that was headed up the middle. The Pirates leading 2-0. That would have made it a 3-0 game with Cervelli at third. Arrieta has now retired 6 straight. Last man to reach against him, Jeff Locke, a 1-out walk in the 5th, so he set down 8 of the last 9 since he hit Gung. And that followed the Cervelli 2-run single. So now 90 pitches and bullpen action for the Cubs. Out of play. Travis Wood.
Seems to me that Arrieta is the type of guy that, if he gets into trouble, he's getting out of the trouble.
2-2 on Harrison. National League Cy Young Award winner. Career high 22 wins for him last year. Strikes out Harrison looking. That's number 9 for Arrieta. 5 of them have come against the last 7 hitters.
And the ones looking have all been fastballs. And that one right at the bottom of the zone.
And 4 of the last 5 have been looking. Popped up. And Montero catches the foul pop. So Jake Arrieta has retired 8 in a row.
Brought to you by Kenny Ross, Total Confidence Pricing, and by Levin Furniture, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
6-2 Cubs. Jake Arrieta doing it again after the Pirates led briefly 2-0. Sean Rodriguez now takes over at shortstop. A.J. Schugel on the mound.
Schugel, 11th game, 14 in the third. I think he's done pretty good work. I mean, he's aggressive, throws strikes. He's gotten hurt on a couple of changeups, and both changeups I didn't think were that bad of pitches. He's given up 2 home runs on changeups on the outside corner, just above the knee.
You hope it doesn't change his aggressiveness, because that is what you've liked about him. And now he falls behind 3-0. Ben Zobrist on base 3 times. Pirates made the decision when they wanted to get back to having the 5 extra position players, bench guys, back to what we're used to seeing, that they would option lefty Kyle Lobstein to the minors. And a walk to Zobrist. And he's on base for a 4th straight time. Corey Lupke not too far away from returning. A left-hander, been on the disabled list for a few weeks. And Jake Arrieta looks like he might be done, so the bullpen's going to go to work. The 9th spot approaching. Soler will be followed by Russell, Montero, and then the pitcher spot, if it gets to that point. Baez rather leads off. Javier Baez with the Soler leaving for defensive purposes. Justin Grimm looking like he'll be coming on for the 8th. We'll have to see what the Pirates decide to do with Lobstein. Sounds like they'll get him stretched out down in the minor leagues, and then he'll join the rotation. AAA Indianapolis. Schugel gets Baez. Although I've seen that many times before, getting called out on strikes and then taking a practice swing at the plate. That's weird. Well, tomorrow, Nissan Road Ahead. The finale of this road trip features Garrett Cole against John Lester. Coverage begins at 1:30. Lester off to a 4-1 start. Garrett Cole at 3-3. John Lester, Jake Arrieta, Jason Hamill in the top 10 in ERA in the National League. Lester at 196. Is 6th in the senior circuit. Arrieta's ERA now at 1.31, so it took a bit of a hit. Fly ball, shallow left center. Marte calls it and gets in front of McCutchen. 2 outs.
Hard to tell if they heard one another. Those two with that speed, full speed collision wouldn't be pretty. See that wind holding it up, pushing it back towards the infield.
Back out, though the bullpen continues to work. And maybe it depends on whether Montero reaches. Tommy La Stella going to pinch hit. Or maybe it's just a bluff. Maybe Arrieta's done regardless.
What's amazing is Arrieta, you know, it's a guy obviously goes deep into the games and big, strong, hard-throwing right-hander. He's only gone over 100 pitches once this year.
That is interesting.
Surprisingly enough.
Arrieta at 95, and wow, that ball went off of Brian Knight. And Cervelli, we've seen this happen a handful of times this year. He quickly turns around and grabs the home plate umpire.
It's stunned.
I'm going to check on him.
Yeah, the only Arrieta, we make sure he's all right. Looks like he's okay. But yeah, he's been at exactly 100 pitches a couple of times, but the only time over 119, that was the no-hitter he threw against the Reds.
Well, with that in mind, it seems a foregone conclusion that he is not going to go out there for the 8th. Cervelli went out there to the mound and turned around to make sure that Knight was okay. I think it was Ed Halber, the assistant trainer, who came out to check on Brian Knight. Concussion issues for catchers and umpires. Those three, Montero, Cervelli, and now off the mitt allows Zobrist to move up.
Cervelli back out to go over signs with the runner at second base. That changeup, a lot of movement on it. Just off the end of the glove. He's coming in like a screwball.
A.J. Schugel pitches a scoreless bottom of the 7th. We'll see if Arrieta comes out for the 8th.
Of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And Jake Arrieta does go back out there. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite. I was wondering, John, you know, if the Pirates thought that Arrieta had a chance of going back out there, would you have worked around Montero and forced the issue?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the way Arrieta's going, he's just carving him up now.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Take your chances with a bullpen, or, again, force Madden to make a decision there. He had the bullpen going and probably would have pinch hit for Arrieta.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been a bit unorthodox, that, you know, obviously giving them an opportunity to add on, but it does get the best pitcher in the game out of there almost for certain.
Rodriguez, his first at bat, fouls it out of play. He had one of the 2 hits against Arrieta at PNC Park earlier this month. Pirates had a 2-0 lead in the top of the 4th inning after Cervelli singled. Went to second on a throw, brought in McCutchen and Polanco with that hit. 3 hits in the inning against him. Rodriguez caught looking. 10 strikeouts for Arrieta.
And it's really something else. Something about this fastball with 2 strikes. It's locking hitters up. They're unable to even offer at it. And that's the last time through the lineup. 5 caught looking, all on the fastball.
Jaso was caught looking in the 5th. That's when this run started, the strikeout run.
Curveball, he hasn't thrown a whole bunch of them, but it's again, that's a above average pitch.
And at this point, it feels like a little bit of a victory that the Pirates get wood on it. That's how good Arrieta is now. With 2 outs in the 8th. Well, fireworks will light up the Pittsburgh skyline this coming Thursday, following the 7:05 game against the Atlanta Braves at PNC Park. Stay after the game for a Cervelli fireworks show. For tickets, go to pirates.com. Fireworks night coming up this homestand Thursday. McCutchen 1 for 3. So Arrieta over 100 pitches for the 2nd time now this season. He's retired 10 in a row, 12 of the last 13.
Not much change in the velocity either. From the 1st inning till here in the 8th. 107 pitches in. He's been right there at 93, 94 miles per hour.
Struck him out looking. That's 11. John Lester, finale of this series and the road trip. Cubs Pirates coverage begins 1:30 with Pirates pregame presented by WB Mason on Root Sports. Cubs up 6-2. That'll be it for Arrieta, who finishes with 11 strikeouts. He retires 11 straight Pirates, 7 of them via the strikeout, 6 of those 7 looking. Sets down 13 of the last 14. We saw him bend but not break in that 4th inning. Gave up the 2 runs, and the ball that Harrison hit could have been the difference in the game. Certainly changed the complexion of that inning. And then right away in the bottom of the 4th, a hit, a walk, a home run by Rizzo. They added 3 more in the 6th. The Stella bats for Arrieta.
Yeah, you think of that that ground ball that Harrison hit back off him as man, pretty impressive line right there. Just the 3 hits all coming in that 4th inning. 3 hits in a matter of 4 batters. But yeah, if that ball deflects off him, goes to the outfield, who knows? It's 3-0, 1st and 3rd, 1 out. We're still batting. Some bad luck for Jay Hay.
Schugel gets another strikeout himself. And the 11 punch-outs, by far the most this season for Jake Arrieta.
It's just mind-boggling the amount of fastballs taken for strike 3.
The looking at the end. I mean, since that string started, when he struck out Jaso looking for the 2nd out of the 5th inning. 7 strikeouts of the 11. Coming against the last 11 batters he faced, and 6 of them went down looking.
And all on the fastball. So there's something there, right? I mean, it's something that hitters aren't picking up or not seeing.
Fowler had an RBI single off Jared Hughes. And that closed the book on Jeff Locke, as Miguel Montero, who had been hit by a pitch, scored. Locke goes 5 1/3, 6 runs, 6 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. And talking a lot about Arrieta, and yeah, the Cubs 3 outs away from making it 6-0 against the Pirates. Pirates have got to figure out this pitching. It is without question the glaring hole on this Pirates team. The weak link is pitching staff.
Yeah, we talked about it at the open. The offenses, the Cubs and the Pirates, and how close they are statistically. I mean, very similar. The Cubs averaging almost a run better a game, but as far as average on base, slugging, home runs are even within a handful or so. The pitching, on the other hand, huge difference. And that's why the Cubs are way out in front and by far have the best record in baseball. It has been because of their pitching that is far and away the best in baseball.
John Lackey, part of this pitching staff for the Chicago Cubs, that leads the league, coming in with a .268 team ERA.
And they hold their opponents to a 205 batting average.
And how about against righty hitters, the team pitching staff? .188 against Cubs pitchers. That righty hitter doubled to lead off the 4th against Arrieta. He's an 8-game hitting streak, but One of the few bright spots today after the Pirates had that 2-0 lead. McCutchen off with a double into the gap, and then Polanco singled into third, and after Marte struck out, Polanco stealing second. 2-run hit by Cervelli and going to second on the throw home. Went to third on a wild pitch. Jung Ho Kang hit by a pitch. And then the Harrison hard hit ball that was headed up the middle, deflected off of Arrieta to Ben Zobrist, and they turned it into an inning-ending double play. Bottom of the fourth, almost immediately after that, the Hayward infield hit that led to the 3-run homer by Rizzo. That's line to right. Yep, Hayward is starting to get locked in. That's his third hit. He's on base for a fourth straight time.
That's again, you think of the things that this offense has been doing is a fastball up in the zone. Hayward able to turn it around. You figure without really much from Hayward, Schwarber on the DL.
Montero just off the DL. Spent a couple weeks on the disabled list.
Well, Hayward gets 5 doubles. That's the only extra base hits. Over 120 at bats.
Toward left. Another hit. Another run. And now Bryant caught between first and second, and Harrison will tag him out. Give him the RBI single to make it 7-2.
Yeah, always pretty much a heads-up base runner. Bryant plays good defense. Obviously a great hitter. But here he took the big turnaround first, saw how far off line this throw was, and thought maybe he'd be able to sneak in there. But Jay alert as always. Look how big the turn is. And he puts on the brakes and then made the mistake of thinking he could sneak in there.
Dexter Fowler scoring. Hayward to third. Cubs now with 10 hits. The Pirates with 3, and all 3 coming in that 4th inning. Chris Bryant, his 25th RBI of the year. His buddy Anthony Rizzo at the plate. Home run number 11 in the 4th.
Big cut, fouled back. Got a piece of the camera, I think, behind home plate. Look at that.
Roller up the middle, 8-2. Said it at the outset. Not only are the Cubs winning, they're going to go 27-8 after today. They are just pummeling teams.
That's a pretty good pitch down and away and off the end of the bat. Almost sounded like a broken bat. Finds a hole. Nobody there.
They've now outscored the Pirates in 5 games, 37-11.
And you get the idea they enjoy it.
Oh yeah,
they enjoy
not just winning, but just
stepping on the neck.
Yep.
And holding them down, and just there's some arrogance here, no doubt about that.
Pirates had Archimedes Caminero loosening in the bullpen. Johnston Grimm for the Cubs going to be coming on. Looked like that phone call went down to the bullpen, said shut it down, no sense in continuing Caminero's warm-ups. Now with an 8-2 lead. Sean Rodriguez and Josh Harrison, and Harrison will make the catch. 2 more in for the Cubs, leading it 8-2. Shots from the Allegheny Health Network Super Mode to the sounds of 6 a.m. Rise. Now the Pirates will have to rise up tomorrow, it looks like. Garrett Cole will take the hill.
Great matchup tomorrow. Garrett Cole, John Lester. There's always a lot of Pirate fans in town.
Justin Grimm takes over this 9th inning.
th appearance, a 5.40 ERA, a couple of homers, 14 punch-outs.
Josh Harrison 0 for 3 today. The only hits belong to Polanco at the plate. McCutchen doubled in the 4th, and Cervelli.
Definitely some frustration, I'm sure.
long season series between these two clubs. No doubt the Cubs have dominated the first 5, but 14 to go.
Yep. Garrett Cole will be chomping at the bit here.
Yeah.
He can't wait till tomorrow afternoon.
Against Leicester tomorrow. Cole 7-2 in 10 career starts during the regular season against the Chicago Cubs. He lost to Jason Hamill at PNC Park a couple of weeks ago, lasting just 4 2/3 innings. So he knows he's got some work to do to bounce back from not only that start, but that very frustrating wild card loss to Jake Arrieta.
Yep. And Marte taking some time. That's one of those pitches there where the ball comes riding up and in. His hands are coming towards the pitch. It didn't hit and miss his hand by much. You know, that's something that's been on his mind. He's been frustrated about getting hit in his hands, wrist area.
And in the air to center. And in right center, it's Hayward for the second out. Talk about frustrating. It's a frustrating day for Starling Marte.
Yep.
3 strikeouts and a pop out to right. 2 away. Moments away from one of our favorite songs. We'll just absolutely love hearing "Go Cubs Go." Play after every Cub win.
And it sticks in your brain for
Yep.
at least an hour.
Oh yeah. It rings in your ear long after you've left the ballpark. Oh, 0-1 on Cervelli. Seems like ages ago that hit to center field.
Yeah.
Such a promising start to this game in the 4th inning to take that 2-0 lead over Arrieta, who certainly seemed human.
And then you got this big lead here for the Cubs, and Grimm with 2 outs in the 9th. Doesn't want to throw a fastball to Francisco. There's one. Yeah.
Rizzo drove him 4 of the 8 runs today. Cervelli has lined to right, singled home a pair of runs, and bounced out to third. Addison Russell, big home run this afternoon in the 6th inning. We had a 3-run homer yesterday. Baez. The Cubs win the first 2 games of this series and the first 5 games of this season series. Again, the Cubs flex their muscles, and an incredible 27-8 start to this year. Jake Arrieta is 7-0.
Can't cool them off. You hope to cool them off tomorrow, but yep, they're playing like bullies.
Yep. Yeah, they really are.
Bullying everybody.
Yep.
on the mound, at the plate, they just cannot do anything wrong, and they are having a lot of fun beating up on teams.
So look for the series win, the salvage the series tomorrow with Cole. Here's that song. We'll be back here at Wrigley, but first we go back to the studios. Paul and Teague.
All right, Greg and John, thank you very much. And just as we promised during the course of the broadcast, it's time for Miller Time. It's presented by Miller Lite, and that guy, Jake Arrieta, is our Miller Time guy. This man is 7-0 on the year, and how about his day today? They did touch him up for 2 in the 4th, but in 8 innings of work, he gives up 3 hits, 2 runs. We told you about those. Strikes out 11. That is a season high, and he did walk a couple of batters through 108 pitches. 69 for strikes. Jake Arrieta goes to a perfect 7-0, and the Cubbies are now 27-8. Teague and I are just getting started here. Pirates postgame straight ahead right here on Root Sports.